this is Indian cucumber or wild cucumber, and I believe the name, Latin name, is Mediola virginiana. It's a wild edible. Something to note is that these generally grow in patches. So they have like a tribe of wild cucumber, Indian cucumber. And you can see a few examples like here, here. And there's kind of two looks to this plant. You have the one whorl, W-H-O-R-L, of leaves. And then you have the double-decker, two whorls. And I've actually never seen this plant in flower, but the field guide says that the double-decker one is generally the one that flowers, and it has a lily-like flower that hangs down. So that's pretty cool.
I like to call this one the small whorl after all. And this is the Ernest P. whorl.
Oh my goodness gracious. So I learned about this plant maybe about a decade ago, maybe longer, on a plant walk. And it tends to grow in moist environments. And it tends to grow, I'd say, at higher elevations, but higher elevations being maybe like over 1,000 or 2,000 feet. So you can be on the lookout for this plant. Like I said, it generally grows in patches. This isn't probably the greatest patch, but it does tend to grow alongside trails. We actually ran into a guy who had hiked the Appalachian Trail, and he was currently hiking the Mountains to the Sea Trail in North Carolina, and he said, oh, he loves Indian cucumber as a trailside nibble. But again, just be aware of what you're picking, because when you pick it, you're taking a life. Before Gumby came up here to do the video, I had a little heart-to-heart with this plant, and it seemed to be okay with giving its life for the video. And I thought I would, in preparation to kind of keep the video going, I would go ahead and start to dig it up, and I lost the root, which is the edible part. So the root is in here. Take a look at the stem, though. That's a pretty long example, and it did say in the field guide that it can have a reddish tinge to it. So there you go. And then it goes down a ways, so you want to dig kind of next to it, and I usually don't have much luck. So this is par for the course for me. But once you get down to the root, and this is a beautiful example, and I thank this Indian cucumber for its life. Okay, here's the root. Now, isn't that just beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Tends to be kind of waxy looking, and the key here is when you eat it, you can always nibble and spit. It tastes like cucumber, and boy does it taste like cucumber.
Yeah,
it tastes. Go ahead.
I've heard people like describe a plant like, oh, it tastes like this, and it's like, yeah, maybe, but this one is like better than cucumber. It is like cucumber that got raised right.
It's like the essence of cucumber, and crispy.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go, Gumby.
Thank you.
Something else to note about Indian cucumber, I call it that because that's how I was introduced to it.
So juicy.
Is that it doesn't have the same number of leaves on every single plant, so it's kind of a trickster in a way. But you get the general sense of the plant from looking at it. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this one has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this one has 7. So maybe this patch tends to have anywhere from like 4 to 6 or 7 leaves I've seen on these. But you just get a general sense of its personality from looking at the whorl of leaves. And just as a general tending practice, leaving the parts of the plant that you're not eating so that it replenishes the nutrients into the soil. So thank you, Indian cucumber. And Gumby, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Well, this might be the plant I've been the most excited to learn. This is a new one for me this summer because it is so delicious. But we have not actually eaten a lot of it for the reasons Teresa talked about, that it is known to be a sensitive plant, and we don't want to overdo it. But at the same time, there's another school of thought in the wild tending groups that you can actually not only not harm a plant population, but help it depending on how you harvest it. So I would like to learn a lot more about that, like how to harvest this in a way that actually might spread it and proliferate it and get to know the seeds and, you know, actively try to propagate this plant, because it is a huge ally for the human animal.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say about it.
Thank you so much, Indian Cucumber.
Yeah. Thank you, Indian Cucumber.